Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings. How are you doing? It's me, the dishevelled again. Oh my goodness, it's so windy here. I've been working on the back of the boat and it's all going really well. But I'll show you on Graham's channel when I make that video. So I've been working on the boat happy Easter, by the way, everybody, or whatever it is that anybody celebrates. I'm led to believe actually that apparently Good Friday is a religious day in every single religion. And I was told that because when I worked at the bowling centre, they used to close because they had to pay double time on Good Friday. And they said to me, everybody has something going on Good Friday. So anyway, I'm a little bit out of the loop because I've been working on the boat. But then I go home and I check up on old Megsy and Hazza or Windsor, see what they're up to. And something caught my eye a few days ago, which I see has hit the headlines and has become discussion by various YouTubers. This charity, is it in Milwaukee? I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it's to help women from Afghanistan. And apparently Harry and Meghan have stopped funding them and have completely denounced them. Well, let's start at the beginning. Firstly, I saw a little news item in a publication I'd never heard of before. That's where I saw the story first. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I also saw that one of the new trustees of Sentibali has resigned. I looked her up. She's a GP, general practitioner, doctor. And I did wonder whether she has, the new trustees have been treated to the maggots. I wonder, because it could be enough to make anyone resign, couldn't it? It's not going to make me resign from YouTube or the internet. Right, get your tea. Now this is very, very interesting. How many years have we all been saying, can Harry and Meghan denounce the maggots? Sugars, as I used to call them, but I call them maggots now. These little online terrorists who threaten to kill people, threaten to track down people's children and grandchildren and ruin their lives. The despicable behaviour. Of course, that Diane Durham crazy lady got arrested for threatening to she didn't get arrested for threatening to kill me and Graham. No, that wasn't serious enough. But she got arrested and is in court and has been declared a lunatic, literally, by the Crown Court in Leeds for threatening to blow up Buckingham Palace. For those of you that remember that. I don't know what's happened over that. It's amazing, isn't it? Guy with crossbow. Never hear another peep about these things. Crazy lunatics like that, whether they're paid or just insane. So we've all been asking ourselves, at what point are Harry and Meghan going to denounce their behaviour? Well, it would appear never is the answer to that, wouldn't it? And various of these characters show up at Invictus, hugging, kissing with Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan thanking them. I think Harry thanked them in his book. I'm pretty sure Omid Scobie did, which Harry and Meghan helped to write. They were co-authors, weren't they, as it turned out, in the end? Remember that one, Judge Warby? Or am I misremembering? Turn up at Crown Court, don't they? Or Court of Appeal. Harry, we support you. Maggots turn up everywhere, don't they? But they never get denounced. And yet this charity, and I've read the statement that the lady, well, I've read parts of her statement because she did it on Instagram and I haven't looked her up there. But I read in articles her statement about Harry and Meghan denouncing her because they said, what did they say? They said some people mix swastikas and Star of David or something like that. Now, whatever the situation is in the Middle East, I'm not going to talk about that because I'm not an expert. I don't know. So I'm not going to give it a load of yap like Harry and Meghan do with full authority. This lady has said that she is supported by Jewish people, Christian people and Muslim people. And of what she's trying to do, and she put it in context, whatever it was she said. And we all know how Harry and Meghan, they like to call people hateful. Ring any bells? Maggots? Well, this lady is shocked and has asked for a public apology for defaming her and her charity like that, which I think it's hilarious, actually. I'm loving it. Harry and Megsy getting a taste of their own medicine, aren't they? Again. After Sentibali and being called bullies. Well, Harry was called a bully. I don't think Dr. Sophie likes Meghan very much either. So yeah, they denounced this charity for her allegedly saying something which she claims she did not. And the maggots are angry. They're really angry. I've seen videos on Twitter that the Sidley twins put up of, these are head honchos. They really are. There's one guy, I can't remember his name, but he's got a YouTube channel. It's quite a big one. He has a big following. I can't think of his name for the life of me. But anyway, there's one of the Sidley twins put a little video up of him, and he has defended Harry and Meghan to the death. He was one of the king. Perhaps not Maggot, because he's a content creator. He's saying whatever shit. He's livid with Harry and Meghan. Now, why have they decided suddenly to denounce this lady? Never denounced anyone else before, have they? They normally just blank people like Jessica Mulroney. Oh, you're on your own. No, don't want to know about that. Oh yeah, Jessica who? That sort of thing, where Jessica went through quite a doodah herself. And then they've released this extraordinary statement. I mean, it's vicious. It's very strong talk. It's not good public relations at all. This lady, she said how they can call her hate-filled. Well, welcome to our world. Whatever the lady's, I can't remember her name. I mean, I'm literally, like I say, I'll show you on Graham's channel what I'm doing. And because it's bright white deck and it's really sunny, really windy, everything in here feels really dark at the moment. So yeah, they can denounce this charity, but they can't denounce the maggots. They can't denounce Christopher Boozy's behaviour, who now apparently is he helping Blake Lively? Oh, won't that be interesting? I'm sure hundreds of you, thousands of you are out there ready with your screenshots and screen recordings of his disgraceful behaviour in the past. No, they couldn't denounce him. They couldn't denounce Omid Scobie for accusing the two members of the royal family, well, two of several members of the royal family who are suffering with cancer. No, they couldn't denounce that. I don't think they ever actually put any well wishes out to the Princess of Wales, Prince of Wales, or the King or Queen over their illnesses. No, I don't think they did that, did they? Did they ever say happy birthday to anybody? Whereas the royal family used to have to say happy birthday to them all the bloody time. Good God, if they forgot, they didn't never hear the end of it. But did they do that back to the... Because I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't think they do. So, what's behind this? Well, I found a little tidbit on Threads. I could quite get into Threads, actually, where, Daniel, the crying makeup artist, hides. There's one called Gleamy Gleamy Glam Glam. Now, this account a few days ago posted on Threads that they knew that Harry and Meghan were going to stop the funding to this charity. And they have a blog, apparently, and they'd written about it on their blog. And then they'd said they deleted it because quite a few of the fellow maggots had said, can you delete that? But this was before it was public knowledge. So I'm asking myself, who is Gleamy Gleamy Glam Glam? They seem to be very in the know, don't they? Oh yeah, I think Daniel Martin follows them and they follow Daniel Martin. So it's very cliquey over there, Meghan's top maggots. So I thought that was quite interesting. How do this Sussex squad get to hear all these really confidential pieces of information before the press know? Anyway, that's beside the point. I did retweet it, put it up there. I'm not sure if anybody understood where I was coming from on that. So then I'm thinking, well, it's distancing, isn't it? They're distancing themselves. I have also seen the point that Meghan calls herself female founder for founding as ever, but not Archewell. Well, in fairness to Meghan, that could be because Archewell is her and Harry. And although, yes, he could be called female in many respects, technically he's not actually a female. So he could... so she's calling her as ever. She's distancing herself, and not from Archwell particularly, I don't think. I have a feeling, well, my first instinct when this story came out was that perhaps some of the Sugars and Maggots are involved somehow with the charity. I mean, let's face it, a lot of them are coming out in fierce defence against Meghan and Harry for the charity. So, my first thought was, is a big story about to break about the Maggots? And they're distancing themselves from something. Whatever it is, they're distancing themselves. There's plenty of bad behaviour that they could call out on the internet, isn't there? But they don't. It's in very interesting times, and I mean, I'm just loving it because they just go from worse to bad to worse to even worse. It's not getting any better. Oh, and I checked her followers on Instagram. Still at 2.7 million for her, and still 822,000 for As Ever. So from that, because one of you said, let's keep an eye on that, see if she buys a load, buys another million. No, I don't think her attention is on As Ever at the moment. I also see she hasn't posted much on Instagram. Well, she might have done today because I haven't checked the internet. This is from earlier this morning. So I get the feeling her attention is not on that. And so her attention will be on something else. And I mean, this is a second charity scandal, really, isn't it? A doodah, bad press. It's first Centre Bali, which I do still want to follow. Why didn't he denounce what was happening with the Backer people? There's a lot of things he could have denounced over the years. And you all know I'm not a fan of Harry's these days. I used to be, but not so much. And to be fair to Harry, I'm reading the wording of their statement from Archwell, and I'm thinking, that's Megsy that's written that. And it's like she's just gone wild. She's like a wild animal, out of control. She's lashing out left, right and centre, isn't she? She's going mental. And I'm loving watching this. Yes, the Maggot story. That's the big one for me. The day that comes that the Maggots are fully exposed. And I'm glad her own Maggots are attacking her now. Good. That feels good. Let her have a taste of her own medicine. All the censorship, I mean, we've all been called hateful for years. Now this woman's being called hateful. I mean, I don't know anything about the charity. From the very little I know, it appears that when Afghanistani women turn up, then they help them in some way, shape or form. Of course, more might come out. I don't know. Something is obviously going to come out that Meghan and Harry feel is something they don't want to be involved with. And I'm also looking forward to watching Omid Scobie's little thing about some PR American woman who moves into a fictitious palace and helps a fictitious duke, and how it's all meant to be, well, based on Meghan and Harry. But I know it will be hilarious. It will be cringe-worthy. It'll be one of those where you have to put a cushion in front of your face and peek from behind it once in a while because it's just so bloody awful. It's old Plastic Man. Oscar Wilde, he is not, is he? He's an absolute wanker. Plastic Man. She surrounds herself with those sort of people, doesn't she? Daniel, Omid, Boozy. Yeah, I saw Boozy on 60 Minutes, standing there with his ears sticking out, looking horrifying. Yes, I wonder. I think there probably is. And you see, they get tipped off because the press approach that whoever's got a story, they approach them for comment. Always notice that at the end. We approached Archwell, we approached Sussex team, and to date they have not commented. That's how they get tipped off. They know it's coming. And the press normally do that week or two before the story's coming out. So, yes, it will be interesting. But I'm thinking that something's going to come out about the Sugars, the Maggots, funding. I'm not saying all of them are funded, but I do believe that there has been funding. I believe there has been shenanigans going on, trying to silence people's free speech. I think it's going to be scandalous. In fact, years ago, you'd get all these sales calls from people saying, were you sold insurance, PP something, we'll represent you for free. I think a relative of mine actually worked for one of those companies because there were so many lawsuits. They were contacting everybody to get as many claims in as possible. I can see something like that in a couple of years. Was your free speech silenced? Were you persecuted on the internet by Meghan and Harry or whoever the powers that be back in the day? Were you thrown off the internet over objecting to lockdowns, etc., etc.? I reckon there will. There'll be sales companies phoning us all up, and then we'll have a field day, won't we? We'll have to have lawsuit party. Right, well, I've got to get back to my back deck. I hope you're all having a fabulous day. And as I say, I'll put a video on Graham's channel and show you everything that's been happening. I'm actually quite proud. The door worked out really well. I was going to say good night, good afternoon, and may your God go with you.